is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه وبعد. My dear viewers, welcome to another live edition of our program Ask Huda. Our phone numbers beginning with area code are 002, then 01 0238 555 131, and the other number is area code 002, then 01 00546 9323. And the WhatsApp number, and it is working today, hopefully, inshallah, is also 001 area code, then 347-8060025. And I believe we're also live on my page, that is M. Salah Official. For your easy access, you can watch us on the page, the live streaming as well, and you can deposit your questions in the comment bar, inshallah. The first question we have of the pending questions is from Nayira Parveen. Sister Nayira says, I would like to know the criteria of ihram for women, especially about the confusion I have about the eye mask while in ihram by error or lack of clarity during Hajj. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا تنتقب المرأة المحرمة ولا تلبس القفازين. This is the criteria of ihram for women. By avoiding covering her face, wearing niqab, and she is not allowed to wear gloves while in a state of ihram. Obviously, whenever she is by herself in the tent, in the room, or a group of women, she's around women, she must keep her face and hands uncovered all the time. The mother of the believers, Aisha radiallahu anha, described that if they happen to pass by men, they would not wear niqab or a face veil, rather they would lower a separate piece which is called isdal, so that they would not show their faces to men. And it is not permissible for a woman to cover her face during regular circumstances while in a state of ihram. Because of that, if you do, you're required to give fidyah. If that was done out of ignorance or it was done out of forgetfulness, then Allah the Almighty is oft forgiving, most merciful, and there is no blame upon you. You just need to remove it immediately and seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So wearing a mask, wearing an eye fold for a woman during the ihram isn't permissible. Let's say that there is a necessity, like a woman or a sister who is sick or she is afraid to get sick. Wear the mask and you would have to give a fidyah. The fidyah is فَفِدْيَةٌ مِّن صِيَامٍ أَوْ صَدَقَةٍ أَوْ نُسُكٍ, as Allah the Almighty stated in the surah. So this is as far as wearing the eye mask or the nose mask for a woman during the ihram. The following question is Zuna Osman is asking, is it okay to take a loan from the bank? For example, I take 1,000 and I need to give back 1,380 in 5 years, and the percentage doesn't go up. It is very obvious that the person is asking the question with absolute innocence, and the answer is no. This is simply the purest and the most obvious form of usury. Because the fiqhi rule in this regard is كل قرض جر نفعا فهو ربا. If I give you not just cash, if I give you anything as a loan and you give it back to me in addition to any service, whether the service is physical, financial, or whatever, that is not permissible. A goodly loan means you give somebody 1,000 for 5 months, for a year, you collect them back as is. Oh, but I didn't gain anything. I actually lost, because I could have invested my money somewhere in trade and business. I could have made some profit out of that. True. But when you decided to give a goodly loan to a person who is in need for the sake of Allah, there is a magnificent reward for such goodly loan. So you're doing this, and the Prophet ﷺ says, if a person gave a loan to somebody twice, he will receive the reward of giving him that money in a charity, like it's a sadaqah, even though you collect it back. So yes, of course, giving a relief to people, making things easy for them, delivering them out of their financial restraint, you will be rewarded for all of that. The reward is from Allah, not necessarily in collecting an extra cash. But if you give and you guys have an agreement before or during that he has to pay extra, or you have to pay extra because he's paying on installment for a period of time, then this is one of the most obvious forms of usury, and this is a major sin. There is no other sin in the Quran which receives a severer warning from Allah than usury. When Allah the Almighty stated in the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من الربا إن كنتم مؤمنين فإن لم تفعلوا فأذنوا بحرب من الله ورسوله. So the Almighty Allah says you should be God-fearing, you should abandon all forms of dealing with riba, usury and interest-based transaction. And if you still do, then the Almighty Allah and His Messenger warn you that they will wage war against you. فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. So this is something that no one can afford. We better stay away from dealing with usury whatsoever. The following question is Arshad, from Arshad Ashraf. Arshad is asking, is there any prohibited time for ihram? This is pretty much similar to asking about is there any restrictions on performing Umrah at a certain time, day or night? No, there is no prohibited time to perform Tawaf or Umrah or Sa'i or Ihram. We are not allowed to stop any person from performing Tawaf at any time. And a person can assume the Ihram whenever he or she is in line with the Miqat. We're not supposed to delay because of any reason, unless if the Prophet ﷺ have said so. And there is no restriction whatsoever, neither in the Sunnah nor in the Quran. So a person can assume the intention of Ihram at any time and can perform Umrah, of course, at any time. As far as for the Hajj and the Ihram for Hajj, if the person missed going to Arafah on the 9th day of the month of Dhul Hijjah, then he has missed Hajj. A person can still assume the intention of Ihram on the 9th, but after the 9th is over, then you have missed Hajj. Al-Hajj wa Arafah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Nisma from Benin.
How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Do me a favor and raise your voice, Sister Nisma, please.
Okay. I have two questions regarding Hajj.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question is, if a woman takes some pills to delay her menses and ended up having some spot, which is not really bleeding but kind of artificial bleeding, can she still perform tawaf?
Okay.
And the second question,
Sister Nisma, the spotting happens during the regular time of the menses or before or after?
at the time of the regular menses.
Then you should treat it as a menses, even though you've taken the contraceptives or the pills to stop the period, but it is pushing itself. So the spotting is a sign that you are experiencing the period. You won't be able to perform tawaf while having the spotting if it happens and if it takes place during the regular period time. Next, please. Your next question.
The second question was,
Yes.
whose her menses can do between after Hajj period when eventually if she has free time before leaving for Medina, what can she do? What can she do?
You mean?
After Hajj time,
Mm-hmm.
but she has free time during before leaving for Mina. What
Mm-hmm.
can she do?
Before leaving
Since
for
she
Mina
can,
or Medina?
sorry, for Medina.
Okay. And you've done
Hajj
Tawaf
is over,
al-Ifada?
but she has,
You've done the
yeah.
Tawaf for Hajj already, right?
Hajj is done already, but there is free time before leaving Medina.
Okay.
But she cannot perform extra tawaf. What can she do to
Okay.
optimize that free time?
Okay. Jazakillahu khairan. Thank you so much, Sister Nisma from Benin. Uh, it is something that we experience every time that we all go for Hajj or for Umrah. Once you see your sister or your daughter or somebody crying, a woman crying or feeling sad or down right away, you figure out that they must have started their period or their menses. So the Prophet ﷺ have seen Aisha radiallahu anha in a similar situation, and she was very down. So he assured her and he said, don't you feel sad, because this is something that Allah has created anew and has ordained for all the daughters of Adam. It's not your choice, and it's something that is physiologically good for your health. So you shouldn't feel sad. So what about the ibadah? Men can perform tawaf and enter the masjid, and you're saying that I cannot perform tawaf. Yes, only tawaf. He said, do everything that the Hajj could do except for tawaf. And what does the Hajj do, brothers and sisters? The Hajj does a lot of things. Does istighfar, dua, prayer, supplications, tasbih, dhikr, recitation of Quran, making dua for others, correct? Giving in a charity. So the only one thing that you don't get to do as long as you're having the menses is enter in the haram to perform tawaf. Besides that, he can do everything. Do you think that the Hujjaj, they just perform tawaf and pray? Of course we alternate. We spend some time to read adhkar, to make dua, and so on. So benefit out of your time through keeping yourself busy with these other duties. Assalamu alaikum. Umana from Bangladesh. Assalamu alaikum, Umana.
Wa alaikum assalam. Hello. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hear you. Go ahead.
Sheikh, I had a question that is it not permissible for us to read the Quran, the transliteration of the Quran? Not the translation, but the transliteration.
Okay. So that is your question.
My question is it not permissible for us to read the transliteration of the Quran?
Okay, got it. Thank you, Sister Umana from Bangladesh. The transliteration, simply reading the Arabic words and letters in Latin letters, because a person doesn't know how to spell nor read or pronounce the Arabic letters. So he or she is trying and attempting. That is permissible. But do not settle on reading the Quran through the transliteration, because it is no way near the correct recitation. You know, we have some letters in Arabic which definitely do not exist, have no existence in the English. The letter Kha, Khalidina fiha, Khair, Khalid, doesn't exist in English. So they would have to write it KH. And accordingly, this is how you will pronounce it. Khalidina fiha, Khalidina fiha. What happened? You switched. It used to be Kha, now it is Ka. That is not correct. But a person who doesn't know and is a beginner, it's a helpful mean, but you shouldn't take it as the only way to read the Quran, because if you're used to it, you will definitely continue to recite the Quran completely wrong. I just give you one letter. Take another letter. You know, in Arabic we have a difference between tha and sin. va and zai. So it is confusing in English, no matter how much we try to put two letters like the letter zai. Alladhina, alladhina, there is no English letter which will replace or can be read in order to pronounce ذال. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. The letter حاء. الحمد لله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. You see where is it coming from? From the throat, right? Well, in English, you would, in the transliteration, you will say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, because there is no ayn in English. So, as a beginner, yes, but you have to attend classes, you have to have a tutor or somebody who is native to teach you how to recite the Quran. And the good news, Sister Omana from Bangladesh, is that Allah have made it easy. Allah have made it easy for those who would like to learn the Quran, recite it properly, and better than many of those who were born to mothers who spoke native Arabic. Their mother tongue is Arabic because they were not interested, but you're interested. الماهر بالقرآن مع السفرة الكرام البررة. The Prophet ﷺ says the person who is excelled in the recitation of the Quran, his rank is with the purified noble angels, while the one who stutters while reading the Quran, he struggles, he receives double reward. But you must learn, not just settle in the mode of struggling to read and not learning from the proper sources. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Hisham from the USA. Hisham, assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh, Sheikh, I'm very shy in front of any ulama, and they are the best of ummah. And you are very sincere, mashallah, and your voice has a sweetness that really tugs at my heart. But Sheikh, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, please, Hisham, try again. Or when you call, you can deposit your question in the control. They will be happy to pass it on to me. Just a friendly reminder to all of us that, subhanallah, Allah the Almighty says in Surah Al-Najm, فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. Allah alone is the only one who knows who is righteous, who is sincere, and who is not. It's not about the voice. I may assume that you're sincere, but I keep it to myself. This is personal judgment to myself. I don't publish it. I don't say to people this person is sincere, because Allah knows best. And I don't tell a person that you're sincere because it may ruin his intention and his sincerity if he is. أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِينَ يُزَكُّونَ أَنفُسَهُمْ. Have you not seen those who admire themselves? بَلِ اللَّهُ يُزَكِّي مَن يَشَاءُ. It is Allah who admires whomever He wills. It is Allah who knows who is really worthy of this admiration and he is truly sincere or not. We as Muslims are very exclusive people when it comes to judging any person's sincerity. It is totally the exclusive criterion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to judge who is sincere and who is not. Please try again, Brother Hisham. We'll be happy to take your questions. Assalamu alaikum. Umar from Morocco. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, Umar, mute your tab, please, or the device that you're watching the program on. Assalamu alaikum, ya Umar. Can you hear me?
Wa alaikum salam. Yes. Ya Sheikh.
Mute your device, please, because we can hear the background voice.
وعليكم السلام شيخ.
Yeah, go ahead. Your question, please. Umar, can you hear me? Yeah, Umar.
Yes,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
yes, I can hear you. Yes,
Okay.
Sheikh.
Time
Are
is
you
very
hearing me?
valuable. Go ahead and present your question, please.
My question is,
Okay.
yes, Sheikh.
Yeah, the brothers collect the question from our brother Umar, inshallah. I appreciate that. Brother Fairuz from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, Fairuz. Fairuz, assalamu alaikum. One more time. Assalamu alaikum, Fairuz. Okay,
How are you, Sheikh?
alhamdulillah, I'm doing fine, Sister Fairuz. Go ahead and present your question, please. Fairuz? You sound like you're driving, Sister Fairuz. Please try again. Okay. Kaniz Sayyida, Kaniz, in today's question, one question, if at the end of the prayer we feel that somehow our wudu is being broken due to various reasons, then shall we continue to pray and finish the salah and again wudu and read the salah? No, this is absolutely forbidden. Absolutely forbidden. It is not permissible to continue in your prayer, not even for a moment, if you have lost your wudu, or if you remember that you didn't have wudu from the beginning. You must leave the prayer, because the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يقبل الله صلاة بغير طهور. Allah doesn't accept a prayer without the proper purification. So some people, it happens, they are praying in congregation and they may lose their wudu in the middle of the prayer, and out of shyness they feel embarrassed to leave, so they continue with the congregation. Then they make wudu and they make up the prayer. This is haram. This is not permissible. You must leave the prayer immediately. Assalamu alaikum. Mukhtar, USA. Assalamu alaikum, brother Mukhtar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today, Sheikh?
I'm doing wonderful, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Okay. This is my question. It's straightforward. Can you please throw light on music and movies?
Yeah.
Is there music and movies? Is it any way permissible under any condition or under any kind of circumstance?
Okay.
That's my question.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah. No, that's all.
Barakallah fi. Jazakumullah khair. Mukhtar, music, movies. Fairuz from the USA is back on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Fairuz.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are
That
you,
sounds
Sheikh?
better. I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah. Go ahead.
Sheikh, my question is, me and my husband, we're trying to have a baby, so I'm taking some prenatal vitamins. Well, I didn't take it yet because I wasn't sure. Is the nature-made prenatal vitamin, is that okay to take?
Well,
Because
yeah,
I'm not sure
just
about
make certain, just make certain it is gelatin
The
free.
nature-made. So I just want to make sure that's okay.
Yeah, nature made, used to make all the
Prenatal
vitamins. Okay, I got your question, Sister Fairuz from the USA. Nature made, used to produce all their vitamins, gelatin free or gelatin from fish sources, fish gelatin, okay, not from beef, which was like an excellent deal. And that's why it was basically the only multivitamins that I could find in the market for my parents, for my wife whenever she was pregnant. Last couple years, they started adding gelatin, and from animal sources, from pork, from pigs, and obviously from the rest of the cattle which have been killed. They are not sacrificed. And to be very honest with you, this is one of the masail or issues which I have excessively spent time in studying and reading different reports and researches, because the scholars have differed whether the chemical bonds and the chemical structure of the gelatin has been changed or not. So for the time being, I'm pausing really, and I say you will find an answer on AMJA website saying that if it is the only available thing, then you may use it. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad from Germany.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, mashallah. Just want to thank you for all your sharing with us the knowledge. Mashallah, may Allah reward you endless, inshallah.
Ameen. Same to you, and we all thank Allah for making this easy for all of us.
Yeah, inshallah, may Allah make it easy for us.
Where from Germany?
Yeah, Sheikh, my question was, I am in Mainz.
Okay, Mainz. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sheikh, my question was, how it's going to be if I read the hadith that our trousers should not exceed the ankle, when we are praying as a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ.
What is that again? The trousers?
No, the trouser and the trouser and the qamis, when we are praying, it should not exceed the ankle,
Okay, I got your
I
point.
read this hadith.
Yes.
So how about if I accidentally forget, or I pray behind Imam which is having his qamis?
Okay, I got your question.
I should,
Okay, I got your question, Mahmoud from Germany. Brother Muhammad from the KSA is next on the line. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Hello.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, Muhammad.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Because your voice is not clear, so I will not respond. I have got two questions.
Okay.
First of all, if you see the people doing something wrong in prayer, like action of the Prophet, or in workplace also, shall we remind them immediately, or how to approach them? Like in prayer, besides the guy will making some movement for the sijda is wrong. If we not remind them immediately, then they will be dispersed, and we will not able to say anything. The same thing workplaces also. They are making something which is not good one, this right one. Shall we remind them straight away at the same time, or take your time? This is the first question. Second thing, during when we perform Umrah, we'll make complete the sa'i. So we have to remove our hairs, especially ladies also, cut their hair. So when they cut it, if the time is first prayer time or salah time, shall we go for the wudu or take a bath or just perform the prayer immediately? That's my question.
All right.
Thank you.
You're most welcome, Brother Muhammad from the KSA had two questions. Muhammad from Germany had one question. Mukhtar from the USA, one question. And we just ran out of time for the first segment. Inshallah, we'll take a short break and we'll be back in a couple minutes. Stay tuned for some more, inshallah, in a few minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jesus because it's contradicted by the New Testament, which
Absolutely.
still
Exactly.
states clearly
Yeah.
that
I was only sent for the lost sheep
the
of
house
Israel.
of Israel.
Like, for example, like me and Salim growing up in a Christian environment and being exposed to this is shocking.
Jewish faith and the Christian faith, both of them were expecting the last prophet.
They're all mixing,
Yeah.
and they're all friendly together. It really impresses them.
Absolutely.
It really shocks them sometimes.
That's the original.
That's the original.
This is 4 years
Arabic
ago.
meaning
This
is
is a
glorious.
screenshot.
Can you read it?
You took a screenshot.
Muhammad,
Screenshot.
last and most important of the prophets. Arabic meaning is glorious or magnificent.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters. A quick reminder with our contact informations. Phone numbers: area code 002, then 0238555131, and the WhatsApp number, which should appear on the bottom of the screen. First, there is another phone. There is 001-347-806-0025, and we're live on my page. And we have many questions, mashallah. I will do my best to answer them before the end of the episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Abdul Hamid from the UK. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing fine. How about yourself, Brother Abdul Hamid?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm great. I got two questions. The first one is, it's like an advice and an answer to my statement. Firstly, when I met my wife back in like 2010, we did something called a nikah, whereby a party from her family, which is her mom and her dad, were present, and my uncle and people from my own family members as well were present. But also we had like two imams which were present as well to give something which I'll call the khutbah and advice, and we did basically nikah. But then, my father-in-law was like, this is not a proper nikah, but it's like something called introduction between both families in a traditional manner. But I know what we've done is a nikah, and the imams that were present, they also said this is a nikah. But it wasn't done in an elaborative way. But now the question is, now my father-in-law is saying we have to do something big, like a proper nikah, and I'm I try to explain to him that what we've done back then is actually nikah, and that is in line with the sunnah of the Rasul. But what you want us to do now, even though it's going to be big, it's going to involve something which is associated with sins like drinking and playing music and party. And as a person, I dislike things like these. But the thing is, I haven't given my wife her dowry because then I wasn't really well enough. We were both struggling, but we agreed on the fact that whatever I can afford, I should give to her. But now her dad is now saying that we have to do like something big, because I know her dad drinks and her dad has friends that drinks, and I don't want that to be committed in my name.
So her dad is not Muslim.
First part of my...
Her dad is not Muslim.
Sorry?
Her dad is not Muslim.
Her dad is actually a Muslim, and he went for Hajj, but he still drinks. I've actually given him da'wah that Rasul said whatever intoxicating in large amounts is forbidden in small amounts. But he cherry pick, basically. He cherry pick what he want to follow in the Quran. But that is not my main problem. I know, because he's more interested in doing a party and inviting friends and family.
You said Abdul Hamid, you said you got married 2008?
2010.
2010. And now your father-in-law,
Yes.
8 years later, he wants to redo the marriage.
Exactly, yes, because he said we haven't done a nikah. And I said to him, we have actually done the nikah that is in line with the sunnah.
And you've done the nikah, the imam processed the marriage contract, got the consent of the guardian, the approval of both of you, and you got married.
Exactly, yes, you
Perhaps,
are correct on that, yes.
you know, I'm sorry to say that, but perhaps that is the effect of the intoxicants. 8 years later, do you have kids yet?
Yeah, we've got kids. We've got kids now.
Habibi, Akhi, move on. May Allah bless you and your family. Just move on and forget, you know, may Allah guide your father-in-law. He needs to stop drinking. That is the answer.
Sheikh, the thing is, I haven't given my wife what she wants as a dowry, though.
I'm going to answer this
last
right
year,
now.
when we went to Humrah last year with the whole family, I bought a ring. You know, I don't know if I can call that a dowry. But the second part of my question is, Maulud Nabi, I know it's nowhere found in the Sunnah, but I've read about your biography online, and I realized you actually have maybe you were an associate professor in pharmacology, if I'm correct, and also you studied comparative fiqh. So in any of the studies that you've done in the past, did you find any of the four Imams, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, and so on, did you find them celebrating Maulud? Or did you find any study that says maybe any of the Sahaba or the Tabi'in or Tabi'in?
Got your question, Abdul Hamid from the UK. Thank you so much. I'm going to answer your two questions, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Eileen from Bangladesh. Assalamu alaikum, Eileen.
Wa alaikum assalam, Shaykh. I have a question. In Surah Nur, ayat 26, Allah says, women's purity are for man's purity, and man's purity are for women's purity. So I want to know that in this ayat, what kind of purity Allah said about? Is it refers physical purity? I mean, a physical pure or virgin girl, we get a physical pure or virgin boy for marriage. I mean, who are not physically involved in a haram relationship, like Gina.
Okay, got it. Sister Eileen from Bangladesh. Right. Before I begin answering the pending questions, Muhammad from Germany and Muhammad from the KSA, Mukhtar from the USA, I need to remind the viewers of our project on Launch Good. There is only a few more days left, and we need to support this channel to keep airing the goodness and the message of Islam. Launch Good. You can find it on our website. Please do your best to support your channel. Barakallahu fikum. That is the link. Jazakumullahu khairan. And for all you do and for your support to your favorite TV channel, Huda TV. Muhammad from Germany, he is asked about lowering one's garment beneath the ankles in the salah. Would that invalidate the prayer? The issue isn't only concerning the prayer. It's simply that the Prophet ﷺ forbade that. And the vast majority of the scholars are of the view that it is haram for either reason. We stated before how Imam Nawawi, when he listed these ahadith, he said out of pride. Yani there is a difference of opinion whether the person does it out of pride or the person does it because it's a habit. So the person, a Muslim, should avoid that. But whether it would invalidate the prayer or not, no, it would not invalidate the prayer. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bilal from Bangladesh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bilal. Bilal, can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum, Bilal. Go ahead if you can hear me.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I very appreciate this is a nice program you're making, and all over the world we are being benefited. And jazakallah khair for this.
Jazana wa iyyakum. Thank you so much.
My question is here. this first namaz, salat first, and sunnah, and nafal. So, is there any sunnah or only first and the nafal? Would you please explain this from the question which I raised to you?
Okay. Got your question, Brother Bilal from Bangladesh, and thank you so much for your nice encouragement and compliment. May Allah accept from all of us. Umar, Assalamu alaikum from Morocco. Umar.
Wa alaikum salam, ya Sheikh.
Go ahead. Umar.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Does a man have to use the restroom every time he want to perform ablution? Let's say, for example.
I got your question, and the answer is no. Okay?
Okay, then it means whenever one wants to perform ablution, you go ahead and perform ablution, then that will suffice all what you are thinking about the restroom, whether you are clean or you are not clean, right?
Okay, wait a minute. If you think yourself have to answer the call of nature, or answer the call of nature previously and didn't do istinja, then it's a must. One must clean up himself or herself by cleaning up their privates so that they can make wudu. This process is called istinja. But if somebody happened if somebody happened to break wind, and I don't have the urge of using the bathroom, can I make wudu and join the prayer? Yes, absolutely. That is permissible. Barakallah feek. The next question, Brother Mukhtar from the USA, he asked a straightforward question. Tell me, what is the bottom line answer concerning music and movies and so on? I can assure you that the vast majority of the Muslim jurists are of the view that listening to all musical instruments is haram, with the exception of the daf in certain occasions, such as happy occasions of Eid celebrations, marriage, wedding, engagement, things of this nature. And the most strict in this regard is the Hanafi madhab, all the musical instruments, with the exception of the daf. So the other day, one of those youth who used to participate with us in the program of correct recitation got married, and we attended his wedding, and it was a beautiful nasheed and beautiful singing with the playing and the beating of the daf. That is permissible, no doubt in this regard. On the other hand, yes, there are minority of the scholars who said it is permissible, such as Ibn al-Arabi from the Maliki school of thought, and Ibn Hazm al-Zahiri, the founder and the leader of the Zahiri school of thought. But those of the scholars who said musical instruments are halal other than the daf and so on, definitely they were not talking about hip-hop, rock and roll, and this kind of music where everybody will be dancing, or the music which is accompanied with singing love songs which would incite the fitna. Absolutely whatsoever. They were talking about this kind of classical music which doesn't incite any fitna. But the correct view, Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam, is the opinion of the Sahaba, the companions, how they understood the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in this regard, and the vast majority of the Muslim scholars, with the prohibition of those musical instruments, with the exception of ad-daf. Obviously, watching movies cannot be free from many violations. If Allah the Almighty said in Surah An-Nur 30 and 31, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ ذَلِكَ أَزْكَى لَهُمْ. Command the believing men to lower some of their gaze. Yani, if I'm attending a lecture and my professor is a female, I'm supposed to listen what she's teaching. I'm not supposed to look at her face or her body. This is not permissible because she is not a family member, nor is she my wife. A colleague, a classmate, a co-worker, I should lower my gaze. I should not stare at a woman who is not lawful for me. And the following ayah likewise, وَكُلِّ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ. And this leads to that. Lowering your gaze helps you to guard your chastity and to become a pious person. While the opposite is true, looking would encourage you to look furthermore and would encourage you to reach out and indulge in an illicit relationship. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Nasif from New Zealand. Assalamu alaikum, Nasif. أخي ناصف السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Can he hear me? Nasif? Can you guys find out if Nasif from New Zealand hears me? Yes, he does. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead, Nasif.
Sheikh, my question is, a Muslim can recite the Quran during Tahajjud prayers because a Muslim is not Hafiz, but he is willing to complete the Quran during all Tahajjud prayers at the night. Thank you. Jazakallah.
So what is the question? You mean what can he do? Read from the Mus'haf. Read from an open Mus'haf.
Read from the Quran from watching into the mobile during the prayers.
That is permissible. If it is a nafila, then Imam Malik, Shafi'i and Ahmad are of the view that it is permissible, with the exception of Imam Abu Hanifa, of course. So this is a vast majority of the scholars are of the view that it's nafila. You can open your smartphone, you can hold the Quran, you can put it on a tripod in front of you. That is permissible until you memorize it, inshallah. Barakallah fiqh, Nasif. Jazana wa Muhammad from the KSA had two questions. If you are praying next to somebody whom you have noticed that he's making some errors, sometimes those errors aren't like skipping a sunnah. No, they're major errors. We all do see people next to us. Sometimes I see somebody while making sujood, he's stepping on not the palms, rather the tip of his fingers. This sujood is invalid, and accordingly the prayer is invalid. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, أُمِرْتُ أَنْ أَسْجُدَ عَلَى سَبْعَةِ أَعْظُمٍ. So the 7 body parts, the palms, the knees, the toes, the nose, and the forehead. So it is not permissible to lift your head, or just put the nose, or just put the forehead, or as some people do the punch. That is not permissible. I saw somebody is doing that. After the prayer, I shouldn't miss this opportunity, because now this person may be praying like this for good, which means that will invalidate his prayer. And the prayer, brothers and sisters, is something that every Muslim, every average Muslim must learn how to offer it properly. So in this case, you should not let go. But how would you do it? Kindly, after the person finishes his prayer, and make certain that it's a private conversation between you and that person, because a lot of people like to hear what is going on, and that would be kind of offensive. So speak to them in private. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairan. Alhamdulillah, it's a big ni'mah that Allah has brought us to His masjid. I just want to share with you a little reminder that the Prophet ﷺ said that you should place this and that on the floor. Some people may commit violations in the sunnah or in what is disliked and abhorred. The Prophet ﷺ said you should not rest your elbows on the ground as you're praying, because this iq'a is similar to the sitting of a dog, sitting the front legs, so you shouldn't do this. Rather, you should lift your elbows. It's a makruh, but I shouldn't neglect it. I would talk to the person the same way, nicely. Somebody joined the salah after the imam have risen from the ruku', and he counted it still as a rak'ah. No way that I would let this person walk out without telling him immediately, you need to pray another rak'ah, because the first one didn't count. His second question is, whenever a person is doing umrah and done the sa'i, then cutting the hair, and the iqamah is called, can we just make wudu right away, or do I have to make wudu? Do I have to take a bath? Taking a bath or performing wudu has nothing to do with tahallul. It's a matter of, do you need to do wudu? Do you already have wudu? Yes. So the tahallul did not void your wudu. Go ahead and join the jama'ah. And afterward, when you go to your room, you can take a shower, you can take a bath, wash yourself as much as you want. But it's irrelevant to the concept of tahallul. Tahallul will be done simply by trimming or shaving your hair. Unfortunately, my beloved brothers and sisters, my dear respected viewers, we ran out of time, but we just have a couple more questions left, inshallah, to begin by answering them next episode. Until then, I leave you all in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in